All right, class. So the next part is to work on the excuse me, inscribe in the carve operations. And those let's see how those works. How those work. I have an example right here in a file that I was working on. So she did a little bit, and I have my um, models that I'll use are volumes, kind of as if I had gone through the exercise. But you'll get to this point once you have this different forms. I think that maybe we might even need more space over here, so I'm gonna enlarge this. Like I said, it doesn't really matter, but I'm gonna make a copy of my cube right here, um, and I'll start with my inscribe, and I'll follow kind of what I have right here. So, um, right, once you get to this point, of course, go through the exercise, but I'm gonna bring this one over here. I think, and I'll move them. I'll adjust them right now. I'll bring, I think this one. I think I'm placing that one on this edge right here by rotating it 90 degrees. That, and I think it's something like maybe another 90 degrees like that, and I can move this from let's say this end over here. Whoops, wrong cube. And I think I had this one over here. So this one, oops. I should copy, but let's just do a copy rather than move. Rotate it this way, rotate it that way, and now I can move it from here to here. Actually, I'm gonna move it from to here, from there to there. Okay. I think I'll turn off grid snap, and so this is where I like for you guys to apply what you've learned so far about the models that you've made so far, so that we're become a little bit more mindful and purposeful as to how do we create this in um, inscribes and inscriptions and carvings. Um, Again, from what you've learned so far from the model making process. Um, so think about, of course, the geometry. That's something that definitely you should have in mind, right? I mean, what's exciting, what's interesting, what's innovative, perhaps different, of course. And probably what I actually encourage you to do is, as a prepping, I would actually encourage you to explore these outside of right now the prep for the drawings, and try to come up with the form that you ultimately would like, such as did over here, right? So let's say that um, that's the form that I liked. So I'm gonna copy paste this one over here. That's my end result. It It's a little bit different from this one over here, but that way you don't have to think about the operations at that moment, and you can just think about the I guess the design of the objects themselves. And then you can set yourself up for the model, which then, for example, I can um, copy and borrow from them. Okay, so let's say that that's kind of like what I like. We'll make a copy of this one. All right, so I'm make a copy of it, and now we go back to the diagramming part, and we're going to do our Boolean difference. Let's go ahead and select surfaces to subtract from, so that would be the lilac. And then I'm going to set delete input to no, and I'm going to select now the three forms that I want to subtract with, enter. And then what I like for us to do is actually use those to diagram as well. So we're going to select this one over here, and we're going to move it out. This one right here, and we're going to move it out, and this one right here, and move it out like that. And that's going to be actually part of our diagramming process. Okay. Next, right? Next we have that result. Right. So I select this one over here, and I can now bring. That's why I'm saying if you work with it on the side, that's easier because you can just then copy these next two forms, bring them over here. All right, that's how they're going to work together. So I can make a copy of this, enter, bring it over here, and then I can do my Boolean difference from this object. I want to select, subtract that one and that one, enter, and now I want to maybe what happened? Okay, I'm going to push this one out here and bring this one out here, so that we can use them as part of the diagramming process. And we can come over here and copy this one, which is ultimately the end result, right? And we have a bit of an example over here. So let's set up for the diagrams in this one right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and make a copy so that things are not in the way for this final one. It gets it gets more elaborate. I think that's the right word to use. I'm gonna make a copy somewhere, maybe even over here, so that when I do exports and things like that, make to these, nothing gets on my way. So if I go ahead and set this view right to southeast isometric, I'm selected, right, we have something like this that is going to help us for our diagram. Right, but it actually works out a little bit different this time, just for clarity, right? So in this case, what we actually want to do, we'll do the, well, I can start moving stuff so that nothing hits on top of each other. So that one, this one over here, all of this, I'll move it maybe over here, right? And this one over here, move it over here, and this result kind of like over here. And I think it's easier in this case, for example, if we do the make to D separate. So make to D for this one, it's a simple one, right? So we can click OK, go to the top, and move it over here. The next one, as you'll see, we want to have the dashed, right, and be able to see through. And so that one, it's you can get pretty crowded. And let me get the isometrics off, right? Because if I make 2D, right, like this for this object, let's see the results. Now, in this case, we do want to see the dashes inside. So if we turn on our hidden lines, let's see where we get. So it it can work. I'm just afraid it's not too many lines because I could actually already see that. That's it's a lot of lines. But that's why if we have this one over here, the next one, I think that can help us um, with our diagrams. All right, so we'll go ahead and select that one. Let's go ahead and set our view. Set view isometric southeast. Let's go ahead and zoom select it. So here, let's remember the lessons that we've learned. Let's go ahead and I'm going to turn grid snap off over here and move these volumes so that I can clear this space over here. Right. And I can even create with my arrows layer, I can do a line so that we can see that this object kind of like projects over there and over here and over here and over here. And this one, for example, projects to over here, 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 and over here, and the same with this one over here, over here. And we've done this, right? We've done this already. Set view, isometric southeast, zoom selected in your previous exercise, right? Your previous project. So I can go ahead and kind of like visualize it like that, or like this in the ghosted view. Then I can select it, right? Make 2D, enter. Let's have our hidden lines on. So let's go ahead and click OK. And let's take a look at our diagram. Right, so that starts telling us, right? I mean the actions, right? So then we end up with right. It's probably it's almost like this guy should be, right? Because that's the result. This is the right? And we'll see. This is something that I'm still debating here. But then we have that right there. Right? And then from this one, we can do the same. We're gonna need some construction lines. So, and probably I'm realizing that it makes more sense if this guy's in the bottom. Right. Let's go ahead and set our southeast. Zoom there so that I think it's pretty good. And This one's good as well. Type line. Bring this one, this one to this one, this one to this one. And we can put this one over here, this one over here, this one over there, and this one over there, for example. Set view, isometric, southeast, zoom selected. Right, because there are different operations. On our left, those are the inscriptions, and on the right, those are my carvings. So that's why I'm doing them in a separate step. But again, you gotta see that. I think I maybe had skip one step at least here in the recording, because you need to already have the Boolean difference. So before we get carried away by the Boolean difference, right? Because if you notice, this one has already been carved. So we actually need to get the Boolean difference. This object with these two objects right here. Boolean difference. Right, and that's the one. This is the one that I'm using over here. Right, so I skipped this part right here. So so you want to kind of like bring it like this, and then copy, right, this one over here, and do what I've done so far with the volumes that are going to be carved out in the right view. And once you do that, we'll go to the isometric southeast, zoom right here, select this, make 2D, okay, double click, top view, and bring this one over here. I think maybe we might be able to get away with least amount of diagrams. Just don't like how kind of messy this ends up looking. And well, basically, actually the last one, I don't know if technically it's not even necessary to do it, because it'd be the same without the. So here, let me show you. So we just copy this. It's basically the last step. We just don't need this or this. But I think that would be the case. Okay. So the more that I look at this, actually, I think we can work with less drawings, which is always good. Right, so actually, we can work with these, and this one. At least I don't think so. Bring this one, and bring this one over here. Okay. So I think that's what we'll need for our last step. We can select all of this, export, select AI. I think I'll call this export. Probably it's already for you. It should be, I don't know, export 5.6. No, but for me, for the recording, this is the second one. So I'll do save. Okay. And come to your files. You can open it. And there's going to be some editing for sure that we need to do to this drawing. So control copy, bring all of that. That's for our last step over here. So you can, this one's pretty straightforward. This one, come over here. Oops, just careful, I left the component of the drawing behind. This one over here. This one over here. I'm gonna go ahead and scale this up. Rearrange this a little bit more. Oops. Then I can create a new layer right here. This will be my full volume, and I'll go ahead and group that, which is basically what group that, group this, and group this over here. And then what I would do is I think we need to scale these up a little bit more. Just line them a bit more. And these are going to be probably bigger drawings here. And let's go ahead and lastly edit these lines. So I would remove these hidden lines from the objects that you're inscribing or carving with, just so that it's less cluttered. I don't think we need those. Just leave the hidden lines actually on the full volume, and we can then select them, right? Select, same, fill and stroke, and I can then use the eyedropper to match them, right? There you go. And then this one's, for example, select, same, fill and stroke. That's actually I'll do this one over here. Actually, I'll do the thicker one, and then I'll just select this ones. I'll do them like the 0.5 as we were doing. Our arrows, select, same, fill and stroke. We'll do those as I'll match them. This one's over here. And much like in our previous exercise, we want to give all of this arrows. That one. And let's see what we get. And not that one. Stroke, arrow end. Let's make sure that they match the arrows. So that one we gotta flip. It's the other one. And as well, don't forget that the interior of these drawings, we wanna make them lighter, 0.5 for legibility. you press Control Y, it's going to give you that path, and it helps me see some lines that perhaps I wouldn't be able to see when you have the stroke on. So that's another helpful tip. I can bring this right here to 0.5. Right. I'm still not so sure about this dash. So I think it's very hard to read. So I think maybe if we decrease it, maybe. But again, it's kind of hard to read. And you know what's also been, I would get rid of these hidden lines of the cube. And also this one's over here. Maybe get rid of this ones, this one's, and probably this one and this one. Maybe that one as well. There you go. I think that's way more legible. I think these lines also need to be thinner because they're not part of the outline. As a matter of fact, I'm looking at that this line actually should be dashed. There we go. This one should be thinner, like that. Yeah, a little bit better. So hopefully you can see how it's a matter of, and there's something off right here. I think I did the wrong selection. It's a matter of just patience and well, we talked about this. It's craft, right? It's digital craft. So there's only so much that we can rely on the software to help us whip out. But for the rest, it's our job to make sure that things are making sense, that they're legible. For example, even these kind of like intersecting among themselves, these lines. I'm not sure if that's ideal, for example, or this one's coming in all the way. I think that's why this one, for example, we can actually even bring it up like that. And technically speaking, this one can come sort of meet over there. But again, it's sort of like a judgment call, right? I mean, is that gonna help or not? So for example, if I bring this one over here, right, maybe clean this up a bit. But hopefully you can see how line weights are really, really important, and line types as well. And then once we clean up all of these volumes, we can create our last one, which the idea is kind of like to see the end result, kind of like over here. So the idea is to just bring in the rendered image underneath it. Let's go ahead and again tweak your line weights. Go ahead and go ahead and try to hold on a second. Maybe group all of this. Try to go in there so that again make sure that we resize correctly the image so that it falls within the outline of the form. And then don't forget to do your line edits. I would do selection over here, right? Select, same, fill a stroke. I think in this case, since it's a larger drawing and you want to blow up that final drawing, I don't know. I mean, it could be maybe like a 0.75, and then I would go around again as we've been discussing, selecting all of those line segments that make up the perimeter of the axon, so that I can then bump this up to the thicker outline. Of course, like I mentioned, with its proper editing. A hint on this manipulation that I'm doing right here with the nodes, it's a direct selection tool right here. That's the letter A. If you click on the node once, it selects it, and then you can adjust that. So bring it down like that. And then notice that we're missing a line over here. I can just match it over here, right? And then, like I said, this dash right here, select, same, fill stroke, it's not really working for me. So let's see, do 3. Select, same, fill stroke. I'll put a 2. Here's like gonna, and then also the weight. Not sure if it's also not the weight. There you go. It's a little more legible. Although actually, I'll take that back. Maybe the weight is not. Select, same, stroke, and we're not tied to those presets right there. Maybe like a 0.4 will do. And so, and then I'm also seeing that here, for example, I missed this line, so that should be matched with this one over here. And I think more importantly, I'm realizing that the image is still a bit off. And again, if you press Control Y, but you lose your image. Never mind. We can maybe just a tiny bit there, so that it matches. Okay, and this is the full form, right? So again, I cheat a little bit here. Control copy, kind of like bring this one over here, and that would be your final operation. And again, feel free to arrange, layout your board as needed. Like I said, some of these are going to need more space for the operations. Lining them up, it's also important, and again, part of the graphical exercise. Right, so maybe this one over here. All right. And thank you all for your attention. Hopefully this has been helpful. I think we can pause there for right now, and we'll continue with our next series of drawings in the next lectures. All right. So let me know if there's any questions. Don't forget to save.